Dude, what about?
1, 2, 3, Cena wins.
Dude, literally
AJ Lee's a tie whore. You can suck my butt. Hold dong dong ding. Lick my shit. What?
Any song could be turned into just gimmick lyrics.
Yeah, of course.
Gimmick, gimmick, gimmick. Gimmick, gimmick, gimmick. Gimmick, gimmick, gimmick. Gimmick, gimmick, gimmick.
Gimme, 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 gimme.
You guys sound like the fucking aliens.
I don't even know what like melody that is.
Fucking
That's the fucking
Mario when you
underground
go into
theme
like the
from Super Mario
castle.
World.
Yeah, when you go into like an underground castle.
Underground.
We're supposed to have like network on without sound. It's
Yeah.
like a gimmick.
Gimmick.
I was like the most like
Gimmick.
normal use of
I know, it's just so great.
Gimmick. Gimmick.
You know what we should do is we should play a game where like two of us will come up with a song and sing gimmick for the
Like
lyrics,
gimmick
and then you
charades?
have to guess what song we're gimmicking.
Yeah.
Gimmick, 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 gimmick.
Gimmick, 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 gimmick. Booker T.
Can you gimmick, sucker?
Harlem Heat, dude. Prestige Worldwide.
Hogan, we're coming for you, gimmick.
Dude, just go to that. Survivor Series 9. Look at that. Razor Ramon
That's the
and
best
Macho
gimmick
Man.
I've seen all these though. I want something like I've never seen.
Dude.
I want to put something from the era that I didn't watch.
Fine, there you go. Put on. Have you seen Great American Bash 2005?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of you.
All right, go to 2005. Let's see. No Mercy was a great one.
It's got Eddie on like the cover.
Yeah, just play that.
Cowboy Bob Orton is on this.
WWE.
Tight.
This is during like prime Legend Killer.
Tight.
Are they able to like pipe in whatever like commercial they want in any promo, like at any
Yeah,
time?
dude.
Yeah, and they choose to put themselves over. Like, I need to see an advertisement for the WWE Network on the WWE Network.
Dude, that
Like, oh, I'm going to have to subscribe to that.
that mask like muffles your voice.
Yeah.
Really badly. That's why I've never worn it. But
Like I can tell just right now.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Like I don't even know if it's
look at Eddie looking ABG with a hoodie.
Dude, hey.
Dude, the pills.
Beats. You should just take this
This is an Eddie Ray match.
over to Redding and just
Yeah,
tag,
dude, this is during.
tag like a couple of newsstands with it or something.
This is when he was hard heel, dude.
Put him over podcast, dude.
Well,
Dude, I'll tag shit.
let me know when it's
I'm a
back on
tagger.
iTunes.
Fuck
Yeah.
iTunes. Oh, it's
No, we need to be on iTunes,
God
man.
damn it.
The best part about like I like doing this is looking at like
That's
Whoa, gimmick.
gimmick.
looking
Gimmick,
at like
gimmick,
web
gimmick.
addresses and like trying to read them the wrong way, like reading this like www.puth
Poof him over.
puthiMover.com.
Pussy mover.
God. Pussy mover. I'm such a pussy mover. There's nothing I love better than moving pussies.
Okay, Roger Rabbit over here, dude.
Roger.
Puffy
Okay,
Pussy mover.
I'm gonna write down my best props because
You're
I.
such a pussy
I need to
mover,
write
you
them down,
fucking
so forget one.
faggot.
Let's gimmick the gimmick.
Are
I'm
we
not
gonna-
gonna put a list together.
Are you
That's
gonna
fine.
gim to the mick to the gimmick
Yeah,
mick
man.
mick?
Let's do it.
How many times can we say we have gimmick Tourette's? Can we just
You ever see the
self-diagnose
discount
right
double
now?
check commercial when the guy
Guess discount gimmick check.
when he's like, "Do you say anything else?" He's like, let me think. Gimmick.
Why don't you throw us
Gimmick.
in, dude? That's
Throw
your
us
thing.
into the Put 'em Over podcast because
Deep
that's
into the
us.
pool.
We're here at the Put 'em Over podcast,
In
And-
Gorilla.
and we are debuting new merch, our official Put 'em Over merch, which is IHOP Mania, IHOP Repeat. You can check out our YouTube channel to find out the story behind that. Okay, I'm Hurley. This is T-Cat,
I'm Lucha John.
and this is our special guest Pete. He's been with us before.
What up?
He is in town from a land a little ways away. And what's up, Pete? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I've
Yeah?
been having fun reviewing tape with you guys, and
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
We,
Good thing,
you and
man.
I watched some Total Divas last night.
You
Still
did.
need to get on that.
Held hands on my couch. It was pretty fun.
Fell asleep on each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's hot.
It was good. It was a good
I
gimmick.
missed that.
Yeah.
So, Pete's right off the bat. I want to know. You saw your first episode of Lucha Underground tonight. What were your thoughts on some of that?
I think anything that I see, because I've seen a little Lucha Underground. We watched some NXT. We saw a little New Japan, and everything I've seen is so much better than the WWE that I'm just glad to see quality wrestling. That's it.
It's good for a change to see some good stuff, huh?
Yeah. It's exciting.
The more alternative product you watch, the more thoroughly disgusted you're going to be with the state of WWE.
Like the amount of organic pops for like dudes I've just been introduced to is like crazy.
Yeah. Wait until we introduce you to Nakamura. You're gonna lose your mind.
Can't wait.
Are you writing down your list, Gimmick?
Yeah, I'm just writing down the ones that I was thinking of earlier to make sure I put them in the right order. But anyway, I have that now. There's only 3 things.
It's pretty sweet.
Anyway, so last night, Pete and I went and had some taco gimmicks, burrito gimmicks over at Esmeralda's. Put that place over.
That place is over.
Just to give you a little bit of a backstory on this shirt that we are wearing tonight. I mean, he's wearing a poncho, so you can't see it, but there's going to be a little 3-minute YouTube video of me debuting this shirt. I told you guys last week that I had a Mega Pop merch gimmick coming, right? And
that you did.
Yeah, and I told you guys it was going to be bigger than Christmas gimmicks. It was going to be bigger than Hurley-Ween Havoc. It was, oh my god, dude, Eminem's on my TV right now, dude. Yes. Not Eminem like the... Like,
it's a great, first match
wrestler,
of the card.
Like, Eminem, freaking Mundo.
MNM.
Yeah, MNM, yeah. Anyway, tight tag team. God, these guys are so sick.
Mercury United
anyway, so to backtrack the story a little bit, we've talked about it on the podcast before. The morning of WrestleMania, we got up, we went to IHOP for breakfast, okay? We went to WrestleMania. We come back from WrestleMania, we went to IHOP for late night food gimmicks. We don't even call it dinner. It was just late night food gimmicks.
Digestion gimmicks.
Yeah. All right.
Consumable gimmicks.
And we just go there and
merch for the mouth.
We drink cups of coffee and we shoot on what we just witnessed. We witnessed WrestleMania. We saw The Undertaker. We saw Sting.
We saw the splits.
We saw NWO. Yes. We saw DX. It was a great day in the hot sun of Santa Clara.
It's how our
brand started.
Our brand started, and it's how our podcast got its name, because I sat there dejected saying, I can't believe Sting lost.
Yeah.
Just, why couldn't H put him over?
Put him over. That's right.
There it was.
And I said we should buy puthimover.com. Oh, and then weeks later, we should just start a podcast called the Put 'Em Over Podcast, where we were going to put over wrestlers that we really like. And now we're into the point where we're just putting people over in general.
Yeah. I've got some people to put over tonight.
So about 8 days ago, I was sitting at my computer at work, and I get online, and I decide I'm going to design a shirt. We've made the joke about this shirt how many times, the IHOP Mania, IHOP Repeat. I designed this shirt. I get it ordered. It shows up way faster than I expected it to. And tonight, I debut it via the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Who's that gimmick chick?
That's Christy Hemme.
She's hot.
Dude, LOD is...
The best.
No, dude, this was the worst.
Oh, this was
back in the day...
Okay.
God. Heidenreich, who was one of the wackest motherfuckers in the WWE, replaced... and filled in and became the other member of LOD, and Christy Hemme was their bitch, and it was so terrible.
So anyway, finishing up the t-shirt story, I got the shirt, debuted it for you guys. You guys popped so hard. Glad that I bought you one too. So we all repackaged immediately and said it was the greatest thing we'd ever seen.
Primarily the reason to discuss the fact that we have our own merch is we're hoping that eventually the viewers at home will be able to wear this fine Put 'Em Over merch.
Right.
And we've been getting over on Twitter lately, having some fun talking with some of our Twitter followers.
Totally.
And we're looking to get to that 5,000 mark so we can have our own Pro Wrestling Tees shop.
That is the goal.
That's the only store worth associating with.
If you want a shirt that just says gimmick on it, you should probably help us get to 5,000 followers. Because you could make that shirt yourself, or you could get it from us and it'll be tight.
Yeah, because we'll have touched it.
Because it'll be a gimmick.
Yeah.
Sick.
Right.
We are gimmicks.
So anyway, Pete's is in town. We watched some Total Divas last night. You guys were sitting in Gorilla earlier.
In that episode at all?
Yes, you're going to pop really hard in that episode. We're sitting in Gorilla. You guys were chilling earlier before I got home from work, watching some Lucha.
Yeah.
Lucha Underground.
Yes, we were.
Preparing for January 27th.
Yeah, the debut.
Gosh, that's going to be awesome.
Can't wait to see myself because I'm such a narcissist.
Oh, yeah, you were at episode 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
Tight.
Listeners, I assume everyone listening to this show is already excited for that debut, but you can look for me in a pink Phoenix mask, losing my shit and marking out in the crowd.
And all the listeners are going to buy All-Star Weekend from PWG.
That's true, because we're also very... I mean, you can even look at the preview on YouTube right now.
And next month,
Hey, are
if
you that guy at All-Star Weekend in the Mil Muertes mask?
Yeah,
next month, if you order 14th anniversary ROH pay-per-view, you have a chance to possibly see us there as well.
That's very true.
we're all over.
We're going to be getting over in the Western United States for as long as I can see in the foreseeable future.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
fact.
We're going to talk to Veda Scott.
Because, like, honestly, the only reason to go any further than the Western United States is to go to a WWE show, which we have no desire to do at this
That
point.
is patently false.
What do you mean?
Chikara.
Oh, yeah, that's East Coast. Yeah, that's
I
true.
went to a Chikara show. It was tight.
Yeah, Chikara's amazing. I guess depends on which direction your mindset is working.
So-
but the Tokyo Dome is not in California or Nevada.
Yeah, that's far east, though.
Yes. Or
I'm talking about...
for somewhat
I'm talking
far
about,
west.
like...
I'm ready to go.
Reasonably...
right now.
Reasonably
Don't live there
distance...
until next January.
No, I'll go with Ben, though.
I'm talking about reasonably distanced shows from us. Like, why would we go anywhere further than, like, the
I don't know
Nevada
anything
area?
about reasonable distance because I dropped everything I was doing at no notice and drove 10 hours to Lucha Underground.
You
so.
did do that, and you took
I don't
your
give a
gimmick
fuck.
friend GT with
You
you.
could also go to, like, England and see a Rev Pro show. That'd be worth it.
Yeah, dude. Is the
Some
villain...
progress.
Yeah,
Would the
progress, too. Forgot about that.
Would the villain be there?
Yeah.
he would be.
Yeah.
Villain, ZSJ, Tommy End.
Mhm.
What's cool is you'll actually be able to see them pretty soon. TNA put out that poll. Who would you want us to sign?
Yeah. Osprey.
Osprey, Tommy
Havoc.
End.
No.
I thought it was Tommy End.
It was 3 people. It was Osprey, Havoc,
Damo.
and Damo.
I could have swore. Okay, so it was Havoc. And it turned out, guess what? It's not a choice. We're actually signing all 3 to come on this tour.
Yeah.
So that TNA tour should actually be pretty damn sweet.
That's
Especially
crazy.
with Jimmy Havoc around. I could have sworn.
I gotta
it
say
was-
something. Like, so you guys just recently placed a massive order of DVDs from PWG because they
Yes,
had
we
that
did.
big 5 for 40 sale. You already had All Star Weekend on the way. You already had All Star Weekend on the way,
And I had
So,
the
like,
best of Bucks at PWG.
which is the tale of the Young Bucks or something
Something
like
like
that,
that.
some gimmick, right? So like,
So I have 8 PWG DVDs on their way.
And I've got
That's awesome.
7.
Gorilla's just gonna be.
And I already
packed.
own 5.
Yeah. So the other day, I don't know what day it was. One of those days where we were getting super over on Twitter and we were gaining followers like crazy and we were tweeting with people and shooting with people and everything. And we just kept coming across all these casuals that just freaking love WWE and like refuse to admit that there's other product out there. And like I just couldn't believe it because I gotta say, dude, if you're listening to this podcast right now and you watch Monday Night Raw on Monday nights and you think that that is like the recipe for what wrestling should be, please do yourself a favor and order a freaking PWG DVD. Because like it's a damn clinic for like how fun wrestling really should be. Like the matches are insane, the spots are insane, the gimmicks are over the top and hilarious. Watch some Kevin Steen promos from like Rushmore era.
God.
And
Fuck you,
forget,
motherfucker!
yeah, forget that KO even exists because that little bitch will block you on Twitter for saying something to somebody else.
He is kind of a bitch.
He will.
He is kind of a bitch.
He will block you on Twitter for calling out somebody else that has nothing to do with him.
WWE is the business equivalent of being neutered.
It totally
You
seems
send
to be.
you send
yeah.
your pets there to be spayed and neutered. Everything cool, they're gonna declaw you, defang you, and everything that made you edgy, cool, or cutting edge is gonna
Right.
be taken away.
It's the path of least resistance to make money in the wrestling industry. Like,
Because the
it's
fact of the matter is,
stupid.
especially guys like AJ who have a bad lower back now, 38 years
See,
old.
I
eventually
support
you're gonna
that
have
though.
to.
I support that. What I don't like is these up and coming indie stars sign with WWE and WWE they just turn them into little babies.
So tonight on NXT, we finally got to see the debut of Rich Swann
Which
of
was
Inner
aw-
City Machine
which
Guns.
could have been awesome.
And he put on some good stuff, but they saddled him in with Baron Corbin, one of the biggest pieces of shit that company wastes money on every month. And that motherfucker went over on Swan. They had a guy like Swan, who's an indie darling, works great matches, charismatic, funny as hell.
There was already like smarky chants happening.
The crowd started singing the Inner City Machine Guns theme
Yeah.
song. He was hella over, and he was just there to job.
Dude, speaking of Baron Corbin, we were in Target last night, and he was saying like something about Baron Corbin. He's like, "Is that the fag that wears like the beanie on Breaking Ground?" He's all, "God, now I feel like a tool wearing this beanie," because he's like wearing that.
Yeah, Baron Corbin makes all beanies bad.
Yeah, he just takes it off. No, dude, but like, Yeah, dude, the WWE just freaking ruins people. I read that story about Tyler Breeze, and it pissed me off. Tyler Breeze, if you're wondering why that guy's not getting over on the main roster, it's because Vince McMahon doesn't like his character. You're welcome. Like, super over in NXT, Prince Pretty, the friggin' selfie stick, beating people with it. Brilliant. The pose on the ring pose
It's
where he like
a great
puts his
contemporary take on the narcissistic heel. And frankly, if that's how they're going to treat a guy like Tyler Breeze, obviously you can't push him to the moon the moment he comes up, but they can't treat him like crap the way that they have.
You have to say like 10 things about Tyler Breeze just to get to how good he really is in the ring, because he's got so many other things going on for him. It's like Dalton Castle. You say so many things
Plus,
about that
even
guy.
if Tyler Breeze was just like a guy in like black trunks and didn't do anything, he's good in the ring.
He's good.
So it's like he's got all that extra stuff, plus he's a great wrestler. So it's just another example of Vince being a control
You'll appreciate
freak.
that they did job him to R-Truth the other night. Ron the Killings.
I'm glad that Ron the Truth Killings got over it, but at the same time...
Yeah, but that match, that 3-on-3 match,
Yeah.
it was embarrassing that Tyler Breeze was even in that. It's like R-Truth, the Ascension.
Yeah, they're
like
stretching for...
Yeah, and
it
then
was like social outcast of Jace, just a mishmash
Tyler
of
Breeze
fucking
should not be in that match.
buried talent.
Right.
So he was
It's
the
pretty
social
sad,
outcast.
It's-
What the
right.
fuck is this?
I'm going to say, I haven't watched Raw in like 3 or 4 weeks. I'm glad I haven't. At
I
least
put it on in the background just to see how bad it is.
I
Like,
mean-
I'll perk up and go, wow, that's dog shit. And then
Yeah,
go
Oh, yeah,
back
dude.
to-
Brie Mode Scarf for their debut of Total Divas.
I watch it in about...
Brie
20
had
minutes.
a singles match
She
on
did.
Monday.
I know. I heard about it.
Wasn't tight.
I just don't have the
It's not
desire to
good.
watch Raw because I'm just trying to go into the Royal Rumble and have some element of surprise and excitement for that event.
Don't.
Because I do love the Royal Rumble.
Speaking of which, I want to field our first Twitter question.
Let's do it.
We're trying to
Yeah.
open up communication with our fans and followers. We
Totally.
love answering goofy ass questions. And
Congratulations to the @Angry Ginger for winning the shirt last week.
stuff. Indeed.
Yeah,
Sending
and
us
getting a BizCliz shirt on the way.
Congratulations to and follow him. The guy's funny to shoot with. It's @_the_angry_ginger. And no, that's not Seamus.
Yeah, he makes sure to always put that disclaimer that he's
So
not
he
ashamed.
asked me, do you guys think the Rumble will have any real surprises or even be worth a watch? Can we do it again from last week?
Mm.
No, because you're holding out hope. My answer is a big definitive.
I will say,
Nine.
I understand that. I understand that we could easily do like the all-inclusive no. But I feel like the Rumble is always worth a watch.
I think everything is, even Raw, the way I watch it, it's worth a watch. So saying something isn't worth a watch is kind of a stretch because it's the Rumble. I'm going to watch it no matter what. I don't think it will be great. I'm not holding out hope that it'll be like phenomenal, but I think it could be good.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be entertaining. It's the Rumble. Just waiting for the countdowns, waiting for the music to hit. There's always going to be 2 or 3 surprises. Reigns is probably going to win.
See, and
besides
here's
that-
the big one. If Reigns wins, going from number 1 all the
When was the
way...
last time that was done? Was that like
It's
The
been
Didn't
a
last
someone,
person to go 1
Flair
to
or
done.
Michaels or somebody that did that?
Michaels is
Ric
the-
Flair did it in '92. Went 1 to done. Yeah.
Giving that honor,
Well,
because it's not been bestowed upon a lot of guys, giving that to Reigns, after there's so much backlash for his
His victory
overly
last
strong
year,
push. And that's
Yeah.
the thing, do they not remember
Philadelphia.
that he won last year and network subscriptions plummeted?
Well, if there's one thing that they're stubborn about, it's Roman Reigns. They're going to do whatever they want with him at all costs. They
Just
don't
to
care
piss
about
us
anything.
off.
No, it's
Yeah.
not even that. It's like they would want us to be happy. But if we're not, they're not going to care. They have decided what they're going to do, and it doesn't matter to them.
See, if that was the extent of their malice against the fan base, I could live with it. What I can't live with is the fact that they will find people who organically get over at an exceptional rate online with the fan base,
Right.
and they'll bury them for it.
Cesaro section. Case in
Cesaro.
point.
I am
Exhibit A.
terrified for Mauro Ranallo. That guy has been on SmackDown for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
has blown up
Yeah.
for being so damn good. He's interacting with fans at a level that no one else in the WWE does. I mean, he's blowing up and becoming like the top babyface in the company and he's on the B show doing play-by-play.
I
And I'm worried he's going to get thrown on the main event because, oh my god, heaven forbid fans latch on to someone that we don't tell them to like.
after the first week I heard him on SmackDown, I told you, I was like, you need to watch SmackDown just for his commentary.
Yeah,
It's
he's
JR
good.
level, like I said that, and he is. He's
Yeah.
JR replaced him in New Japan, which
he
is
makes he makes SmackDown watchable. Like, I don't really care about most of the stuff going on in SmackDown, but I just love hearing him call matches. Like, he makes SmackDown watchable
And
on his own.
He actually calls matches. I went to say, ooh,
Yeah.
nice side Russian leg sweep into the wall, and before I could get the words out of my mouth, he'd already called the move.
One thing that I saw on Twitter that I saw more than one person say, I can't remember if it was after the first or second week, but people were really impressed that he dropped like a Tree of Woe drop.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't hear that from Michael Cole.
No, of
Like, and
course
he
not.
like threw it down.
This
Dude.
guy knows wrestling,
Michael Cole sucks.
and the fact that he gets on the mic and brings that bravado,
It sounds important when he says it.
he sounds like Howard Cosell if Howard Cosell could kick my ass.
Yeah, you tweeted
just-
that. That was a good
Like,
tweet.
it just, every time I hear him, he just sounds like this badass version of Cosell, and I just fucking get excited.
Yeah.
He really needs to call the Rumble. Because at this point, the Rumble is such a big nostalgia pop. It's been around longer than almost every other event
Thanks,
in
bro.
WWE history.
Bless you.
He's not going to call it, though.
There's tons of guys who run in that are just nostalgia pops. God, Melina's ass.
He's like gripping it too.
So they need to not have a guy like Michael Cole who's going to spend an hour and a half at the
Shilling
Rumble
the
is.
network.
Yeah, talking about, oh my god, Total Divas.
Right.
Also Sonic, also whatever fucking sponsor we've got.
Sonic.
Guy's a cuck and a shill.
Yeah, dude. I like Mauro, dude.
Yeah, he
Mauro's
needs to move.
amazing,
yeah.
He needs to move to Raw, or he doesn't even have to move to Raw, but they need to do. They used to do kind of the hybrid. They'd have the Raw team, the SmackDown team, and it'd be like a mix for the pay-per-views.
They absolutely do.
Because King for the last few months has only been on SmackDown, but he's been on the pay-per-view teams. So they need to do something similar to that. Maybe like Mauro, King, and JBL. Or they're not going to take Cole off.
Cole is gonna call the
So
Royal
it's going to be
Rumble.
like do something like Mauro, Cole, and JBL or something like that. You need to get him in
Is there
somehow.
like any chance Cole could get hit by a truck? Maybe.
No. I do want to field the other question that the Angry Ginger posed to us.
Love the Ang
Another one?
Yeah, dude, I love Tag, the Angry Ginge. What are the chances Vince is found dead with a mouthful of untalented pretty boy cock one day?
Of course you want to field that question.
It's a tight question.
The chances are no.
No.
Maybe Cole.
I think it'll be vice versa.
Was there rumors that he like fucked HBK back in the day? I've heard that before.
Yeah, that's just rumors though, man.
Why?
The Heartbreak Kid doesn't.
Yeah,
do that.
that one just sounds like bullshit. But there have been prevailing rumors for so long that
Do you think
Cole is.
Sean might have hit him with some sweet chin music though, with his balls.
See what you did there.
Get it?
I got
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, too sweet.
Just that.
Dude, we're getting a run in from the wind right now.
Yeah, hearing something, dude.
Yeah, dude, too sweet. Yeah, so all right, so I think Royal Rumble, it's always watchable because it is the Rumble. We'll probably sit out here in Gorilla and we'll shoot on it the entire time and talk
Yeah,
crap
it's
about
not.
it. And
It's not gonna be great. I don't think anybody's expecting it to be great, but like, don't act like there's so much going on in your life that it's not worth watching. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Anybody listening, you're gonna watch it. Like,
And-
don't act like you're not gonna watch it. Doesn't mean
And
it's gonna
see,
be good.
Lucha John's
That's-
gonna watch it.
That's
Yeah.
the attitude that WWE is banking on. They
And
don't
it's
give a
true.
fuck.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And I've admitted that. Like, they know that people like us are gonna watch. Well, I haven't been watching Raw really, but they know that people that grew up on it, it's just a Monday night thing. Like, it's just part of your life. Hey, it's Monday. I'm gonna watch Raw.
Remember that fact that said AJ Styles was not better than Roman Reigns?
Yeah, and going back to what you'd said, it drives me nuts that people think that WWE is
the
the
product.
entirety of wrestling.
It's so
Some-
bad.
I likened it to someone who says that they're a huge video gamer, but all they play is Angry Birds and Call of Duty. Or I'm a huge comic nerd. I only read Marvel comics. Like, fuck you. Get over on some Image and Dark Horse before you tell me you're a comic fan.
Just so you know, for those listening via audio only, you can't see the mask that Lucha John is wearing, but it's basically like a cross between like Skeletor and Admiral Akbar. And couple other things, but it's totally muffling his voice. So
Yeah,
he's
well,
trying to get closer
I
to
have
the microphone.
no
tonight.
idea how this is going to come through.
It's
I
gonna-
don't think it's gonna come through at all.
It's
but-
gonna sound like
going
you
to
have
come through
It's
booming.
gonna sound like you were found dead with a mouthful of cock.
That might happen to me.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
and Helico gets me excited.
with the Royal Rumble coming up, Pete, you have watched wrestling when you were a kid and everything. Do you have a favorite Rumble moment? Do you have like a Rumble story you can share with us at all, or anything like that? Or was it one of your favorite things to watch? I mean, everyone's favorite when they were kids.
Yeah, I mean, I think it still is like
Mm-hmm.
my favorite pay-per-view event, just because
It's just an event in itself.
it's so exciting, and like I
Right.
know that it's kind of lame that like Roman Reigns is going to retain the belt through it, or that's kind of what you guys feel, but like the fact that the belt's on the line through the event is tight, because usually isn't it like you win the Rumble and you get the title
Shot.
the title shot to
Yeah.
win the belt at the next
Yeah.
pay-per-view,
at WrestleMania.
right?
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of tight that the belt's on the line for this. There's more at stake. Like you walk out with a belt, and
When Flair went 1 to done in '92, it
I
was
remember
for the
that.
belt, but the belt was vacant, so it was a little different because the current champion was not in the ring at any point. There was no champion, and that was Flair's debut in WWF, and he dropped
Okay.
an insanely good
This
promo.
this is going to be the biggest pop of the night if, for some astronomical, amazing reason, it happens. If early on Roman gets eliminated, like if Roman comes out and
It's
he's
not.
number one,
Okay.
and number two is Brock Lesnar, and he throws him out.
This is a bold prediction right here. It's not really bold that much, but
If it includes Roman being one of the last two, it's not bold at all.
that's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
If he's either gonna win it, and if he loses it, he's going to be the last guy eliminated. He will be in the last two, and he's either gonna win or lose, but he will
Right.
be in the last two.
And I like the idea of Brock winning it if it just if
I
it
don't.
means something.
I'd rather Roman keep it than fucking Brock.
No, because that means more Heyman during Mania season, which is
I guess,
perfect.
but it also means you're strapping a part timer, which
Okay,
is
what's-
never good for business.
What's a Rumble surprise that I'm not gonna say is probable? A Rumble surprise that is possible and that you would pop for. What would be your number one?
My number one.
And
Mine's easy. I'll give you mine right
but
now.
yours isn't possible.
No. What do you mean?
I know what you're gonna say.
What?
It's the thing about this cup. And he's
No,
not
no, that's
debuting.
not it.
Okay,
No.
then
That's one of
Well,
my big surprises, but
To clarify what he's talking about, for those of you who haven't listened to the last couple weeks, we have a wager. I don't think AJ Styles is going to debut at the Rumble.
I like having
regardless.
wagers on the podcast. We
It's
should
fun.
continue the gimmick.
It is tight.
Yeah.
He seems to think that AJ has ditched all his ties to Ring of Honor and New Japan as fast as possible, and that he's going to debut at the Rumble. I think that's tight, therefore it cannot happen in current WWE. So we have a little wager going.
Yeah.
If AJ Styles does not debut at the Royal Rumble, I get to take home this fucking awesome Meltzer driver Young Bucks at the American Legion Hall number 308 on Canby Avenue in Reseda tumbler for
That I got
coffee,
from WrestleCrate.
which is tight.
Yeah.
However, even greater stakes are on the line because if AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, does debut in WWE at the Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant, I will unmask on this
the YouTube
show.
channel. Yeah.
The
Okay.
Lucha John
So my
kayfabe will be broken.
so that's like my surprise of the night that I think could happen, but
For real quick, mine, Sami Zayn.
yeah.
I want Sami.
Well,
Is that
yeah,
yours too?
No.
it's possible, and it's.
I
it could
still
happen.
want Sammy to come out and eliminate KO after KO. I want Sammy to come out and eliminate KO after KO had been destroying people, and then just jump over the rope himself and go back in Gorilla, and go back to NXT and get his
No, jump over the rope and follow KO out. Just
yeah, something
blood
like
feud
that.
Out
Yeah,
through the crowd.
I think we
Because
all.
KO
But
came
mine-
out at
but-
that house show.
I will say my number one big surprise that possibly could happen that would be tight would be Daniel Bryan returning. There
I think
are
that's
tons.
very probable.
There are tons of rumors that he's in Pittsburgh or something this week, like seeing a WWE doctor trying to get clearance, because I think they are in full panic mode and they need him at the Rumble. And if he can, the thing is like, clear him. He can come out and work the Rumble, get that event super over, and he doesn't have to come back full
Exactly.
time right
That's-
away.
If you could have Hacksaw Jim Duggan come in and take a couple bumps and pop the crowd, thing is, if you do that with him, it'll be a disaster.
I don't see that happening because the thing about WWE,
suck.
the very last thing on their mind, if you put all their priorities in a row, the very last thing is like entertainment and like what's gonna be cool. No, I have like an actual
World
point, I have an
Wrestling
actual
Entertainment.
point to this though.
I know you do,
and it's
right.
Daniel Bryan. Everybody's gonna love it, but they don't care at all if they leave themselves open for like some sort of like medical lawsuit. They don't care what's gonna happen. If there's any question, they're not gonna let him touch a ring just to stay clear of that liability. So I don't see him returning, and if he does, it's gonna be, in a while. So I don't think it's gonna happen. But my main question was more of the
Looks good.
the Rumble Classic of like the old school guy returning. Like they always do a couple of those.
Oh,
What's
you want to
that?
know?
Okay.
You
Like
wanna
we
know-
all
okay.
want Sami Zayn, we all want Daniel Bryan,
so
AJ Styles.
who's the nostalgia pop?
Yes.
Does it have to be out of nowhere? Because here's
Well,
one.
no, the one you
If-
think
if-
is gonna happen.
If he's cleared to potentially do it,
It's
even if it's
HBK.
no, even if he just comes out, eliminates one guy, and then goes out,
Yeah.
Sting
Okay.
goes into the
See,
Hall of
that's
Fame the
perfect.
night before.
I like it.
No, he goes in the Hall of Fame at Mania.
Oh yeah,
Not
no,
Royal
yeah,
Rumble.
Mania. I don't know. Why
I think it's HBK. There's a lot of teasing going on with that. I think HBK.
No.
All he has to do is come out and like
That's
super kick
probable,
one person
but-
over the rope, and it's a super pop.
Yeah, but it's not gonna
But-
happen.
Sting would make sense because then he can say, "I've been in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I have an elimination in the Royal Rumble." It's something that he
Yeah.
can pad out his legacy with that I think would be nice.
I really hope it's just like Kane comes out and gets 15 eliminations again.
That would actually be awesome.
I
Fuck
actually have
Roman
no
Reigns.
desire for that to happen. Sorry about
Uh,
My
It would
choice.
take Roman's
My
record
choice
away.
is Paul London.
that. What if Taker comes out, wins the Royal Rumble, and goes into his last Mania as champ? That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah, it'd be like
Because
two
they're talking about KO taking the belt off, or they're talking about a KO Undertaker match.
I don't even know who this
Which is-
gimmick on the screen is.
Simon is his name. He has a cast and a plate of like jumbo
Dude,
jacks.
he came out on like a first generation
Segway, yeah, like
This guy was this.
previous, like prior to Paul Blart Segway.
His gimmick was that he was a
Bobby.
fitness
Dude,
guy.
Lashley's gonna murk this guy.
Yeah, look at Lashley.
Dude, Blaster Bobby Lashley is one of the yoked dudes I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, he's huge. All right, we're done with the Rumble
Yeah.
talk for a minute.
Yeah, I'd
All right,
say so.
we'll cover the Rumble next week on the podcast. Okay, so do we want to
Rumble
move on to the
Fallout?
list gimmick,
No,
or do you have
I
one
wanna-
more thing?
I want to shout out one other fan that's been really cool following us.
Yeah.
And I promised I would.
Yeah.
And that's Kat, who is at Kat Von Dom on
Ooh,
Twitter.
Kat.
She's hella cool. I mean, I think we're in agreement. She's one of our coolest fans.
Is she the one that said that they should make wrestling pajama pants? And we
Yes.
were like, yeah, that's our idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's a Sami Callihan fan. She's
Tight.
super hot. She loves metal, and she's German. Done.
Check.
Plus her name's
check.
Cat, and his name is T-Cat, so it's like they're married already.
Pretty much.
Kind of like a Gargano-Candice arrangement.
Yeah, we're like the next generation.
But I promised we'd shout her out and that I would. So when I found out she was German, she wanted me to attempt some German words, but I told her I only know the basic World War II video game lines like Ihre Papier bitte or Achtung Amerikanen Schweinhund, like the basic shit.
I know Du hast.
Du hast.
Okay, so before we squash Twitter discussion and move on to the next gimmick, do we want to are we?
Well, we're in the middle of Twitter
Oh, you
discussion.
still are?
Yes.
I
'cause
thought we were just shouting out
I'm
that
shouting
girl.
no because she wanted me to try and say this word.
Jobber.org over here.
All right.
This is she said try this one word and I'm gonna here it goes. It's Hoxische for Kapitan Schmutzer? Fucking Christ, look at this word.
Well, your mask doesn't
I
help.
don't know, dude.
Let me see.
I don't know German.
Can you peel this up just a little? And
Yeah,
Dude, I need to be able to read it. It's like 74 letters
yeah,
long.
it's Hoxische Hoxschifa for Kapitan Schmutzer. Fucking Christ, seriously, look at that. It's like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I don't know.
There.
All I know
Yeah.
is that I'm gonna DM you and we'll have some conversations later. So
She
Right.
shot on Angela Merkel, which is tight, so I think
Sweet.
she's a good fan. What else we got?
Oh, I was gonna shout out your boy, or the dudes
They
over at
send you a
Suplex
shirtless
City
pic.
Limits.
Absolutely, I have
Yeah,
to put
you're
over
gonna make an appearance on that show, and they
they're-
wanted us to shout them out.
their February 28th episode. Lucha John will be their guest of the week, and the guys over there are hella funny. Love shooting with them on Twitter. You should definitely check out their podcast. I'm hoping to get on there and give them a little bit of feedback because I will be on their show the day after the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, so I can give them a little bit of feedback of the night we have.
Was
so.
that planned?
No.
That's tight that you're going on right after that.
They said, well, this is the next opening, and I'm like, well, as long as you can do it early in the day, because I'm not going to miss the Ring of Honor TV taping for anything. But yeah, Suplex City Limits, tight guys. We're looking to work with them in the future, so.
I'll just shout out real quick. There's another way to win a t-shirt, and that way is we are going to post to our YouTube channel a little video of the debut of this new t-shirt that we had tonight. The way you're gonna win is you're gonna have to tweet the link to that video, share it with all your followers, and then you need to tweet at Put 'em Over your favorite order at IHOP.
Tight.
Watch the video and you'll understand.
And if for some reason you live in the middle of bumfuck Egypt and have never been to an IHOP,
Or Germany, where there is no IHOP.
Or Germany.
But here's the gimmick though. There's a very specific dish that we're hoping someone mentions because we will pick that person that mentions that
any
dish.
longtime listener who's listened to a certain episode in our podcast will know what we mark for the hardest.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, that's how you're gonna win the t-shirt. I'll tweet out that video tomorrow. It'll be on our YouTube channel. And then on well actually you're not gonna listen to this probably till Friday, so I'll tweet it out Saturday. Or I'll tweet it out Friday afternoon.
Might be able to listen to it tonight.
Well,
Maybe I'll get really...
You get on it?
We might
Maybe,
tweet it out during the Rumble.
Right on.
Because Twitter's going to be blowing the fuck up on Sunday anyway.
Let's tweet it out during the Rumble. We'll tweet it out during the Rumble. That's a really good idea.
And it'd be
on the Royal Rumble hashtag.
Yeah, we'll tweet it out with the Royal Rumble hashtag.
All three of us will be on Twitter and pretty active during that event. We'll be shooting with people.
And if you're going to the Royal Rumble, you should go to IHOP that morning. And then after the Royal Rumble, you should repeat.
I'll be on mofos.com.
Mofos.
Didn't your subscription run out?
No, it's got like 2 days left.
Starbucks subscription.
You need to get another Starbucks card.
Yeah, I'm going
to. We did ask a question on Twitter last week. Which of these women's indie stars would you want to see as a guest on our show?
Yeah, we got like 26 votes, I think.
And overwhelmingly...
Who are the options?
Leva Bates, Veda Scott, Candice LeRae, and Kimber Lee. And, of course, Candice LeRae won at 52%.
Yeah.
Leva Bates was 20%, and then Veda Scott was 16%.
Yeah, no love for my girl Kimber, which I didn't like.
Kimber was 12%.
She's tight.
She is tight, but when you consider...
She's the Chikara Grand Champ.
She's up against... That's true. She's the only main title strapped chick in the industry right now.
She's hella good.
Tight.
Here's an idea. We should just have a Women in Wrestling month and have them on one after another.
Yeah. We have to actually have a shot at getting one of them on.
Leva is like the tightest chick in the industry. Yeah. She's so tight. If you dress up as an Adventure Time character and go to the ring to beat someone's ass,
tonight's the night of Twitter shout-outs because I want to shout out our boy Stokely Hathaway.
Yeah,
dude, Stokes.
Oh yeah,
I love Stokely.
Stokes hit us with a follow. We were DMing a little bit, and we're gonna have him on the show eventually.
Definitely.
I know that Ring of Honor's on the win.
Yeah, we're hoping. I'd like to interview him in person.
Yeah, I'd like to meet him, have him on the show, interview him. We can catch a little recording or something while we're there. So that's gonna be sweet, man. Vegas is coming up soon. We're gonna be talking about that a lot over the next few weeks. Is what's gonna happen in Vegas. And
I just wish there was a Paragon Pro show that weekend because
dude, we're gonna be in the same venue.
Paramore. Like a Paramore concert.
I don't mark for them.
We're going to be in the same venue. Sam's Town is where
I'd rather listen to Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh, yeah. I would
and frankly, if I'm going to listen to any Hot Topic band, it's going to be Genesis of the Moment.
Genesis of the Moment, Her Tears in Velvet.
It's the best album I've ever heard.
#1 selling album. All right, so moving on from the Twitter conversation, moving on from Royal Rumble conversation, we have a list gimmick tonight.
An obligatory list gimmick.
We have a list gimmick that will definitely get more over than last week's list gimmick, which T-Cat buried.
I buried this one, too. I don't have anything for it.
You'll come up with something, though.
No, I won't.
It's only 3 things.
I don't participate in any lists, ever.
You have every single time
you
except
love
for
the
last
list
week.
gimmick. You agree?
Okay.
Yeah, I showed him Rey Mysterio without a mask.
All right, Lucha John, we have a list gimmick.
Yeah.
Don't
be a faggot.
I actually don't have one.
Then come up with it on the fly.
You'll come up with it. It's 3 things.
You lazy motherfucker.
It's 3 things. You'll come up with it. All right. So the list gimmick was your top 3 favorite props. All right. Prop gimmicks, whatever you want to call it. Steel chair, barbed wire, whatever you want to call it. If you're a hardcore fan, all that kind of stuff. All right. So I did my list based on my favorite prop moments, basically. And then there's just a couple of props in there so one of them is just a super over moment.
I know
Yeah.
you have at least a couple of them prepared, Pete, so we're going to have you in on this. Just throw some ones out that you love.
I'll throw something.
Just
Yeah, you
give
gotta
it a
do something.
shot.
I'll toss
So I'll
it
start
in.
with my third choice, my number 3, which was Paul Heyman's cell phone. Like, I love, like, the Zach Morris, like, Saved by the Bell, big-ass cell phone that he would beat people over the head with. And the reason I put this on my list was because, fuck you, Jim Cornette. Because Cornette,
Seriously.
him and Paul Heyman would have, like, those battles with, like, the tennis racket and the cell phone.
So you're not going
and
to put over the racket?
No, the cell phone was way tighter, but that's what made me think of this. Was he was asking who Jim Cornette was. And I was like, he ran around with, like, a tennis racket and whacked people with it and stuff. So anyway.
He ran around with a fucking vagina between his legs.
Yeah, Jim Cornette. Someone was asking who you are, so obviously you're not as tight as you think.
Yeah,
you
you're
are.
so relevant of a booker. What an impact you've had on the industry, you faggot. This
Right.
guy barely knows anything about wrestling, but he sure as hell knows who
He knows who
Matt
Paul
and
Heyman
Nick
is.
Jackson
He's
are.
so
featured
anyway.
on our Twitter picture.
So Paulie dangerously got the friggin' mobile phone that's like as big as probably like a block of cheese, like a big ass cell phone. Like Zach Morris, dude, exactly. That's what I always called those phones.
It's perfect.
It's the Zach Morris phone.
Yeah,
Call
absolutely.
Mr. Belding to get him out of his
It's
office
like
so you can prank everybody.
Have you guys seen Night at the Roxbury?
Yeah.
When they get their actual cell phones taken away and Lonnie
Yeah.
Anderson wiggles out and says, I don't want you going anywhere without your phones, and just hands them
dude.
those giant phones.
Right.
So
What
tight.
is this?
Dude, like a brick, man. Right.
So tight.
So yeah, Paulie dangerously.
It's a good one.
That was my number 3.
I assume we're going to go in this direction because you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
My number 3 is actually a pretty contemporary one. I'm trying to go with ones... There's a lot of different one-off props that I've loved in spots, but I'm going with signature props that were...
My number 1 is a total one-off.
I want ones that are part of the character. And this is a contemporary one that has really brought attention to this character and has been a part of some amazing, funny spots. And it's Francesca, Xavier Woods' trombone.
Wow. You're putting
That
over
shit
right
has
now.
been so...
Wasn't even named
Fun.
before like this week, was it?
Yeah, they just named it. For the funeral. That was one of the best spots. Raw was terrible.
Of course
But
you like
having
that.
them do a funeral for his trombone, him hitting people with it, playing the Final Fantasy victory fanfare, all the little shit where he'll do the as they're doing drop kicks. It's golden. It's one of the most entertaining,
it is
fresh
pretty
things
funny, dude.
for humor on Raw.
Who was it that like threw it back in the ring at them or something like that? Was it KO that like tossed it in the ring and like hit one of them with it?
No. The big throw was that happened at TLC.
Yeah.
That's how they retained the belts. Is he came in and just threw Francesco right into. It was brutal.
Dude,
God,
Orlando Jordan.
What a whack
Too
motherfucker. No, I don't want to too sweet.
No, just the fact that we both said the same, like, we just looked at it like,
The cabinet.
God, look at this guy.
He was terrible.
Right. All right, so
Pete, do you have one to throw in?
throw
Yeah.
in one, bro.
I'm gonna go totally random here and say, from the NES Pro Wrestling game, the hidden object from the Amazon. When you would pull that up,
So tight.
it's just like one of my favorite moves, and
That
like
was
one,
so
of the, one of the tightest wrestling games ever.
That's so great.
That was the
Love
most
it.
out of left field fucking answer
That was a great
anyone
one, though.
could have
That was
ever
a good
said.
prop.
There
Dude.
you go, dude. It was like the original
Do
prop.
you
for
go with
me.
Amazon or the Starman?
I like both, actually.
Yeah, same.
Do you have anything yet, TCat?
Yeah, I've got all 3 of mine already.
Tight.
My top 2 are kind of like individualized, like they match with like a certain wrestler. My number 3 is kind of random, like it's been used by a bunch of people, but I pop every time like it's used, and that's a fire extinguisher. I love all fire
like
extinguisher
spraying
spots.
the powder,
Yes,
right,
Exactly. Anytime a fire extinguisher is sprayed or somebody is hit with one,
Yes.
I'm a fan of the match automatically.
What's interesting is, as funny as that sounds, that's actually recommended as one of the #1 home defense tools you can have because it's so heavy as an impact tool, and you can simply take someone's breath away by showering them in that shit. It's absolutely wonderful home
Yeah,
defense
there's
tool.
no one that's not gonna like stop running at you if you start spraying them in the face
Because
with
you
that
can't
thing.
breathe in
Love
that.
the extinguisher spot.
It's a good,
Yeah, that's a
good
good one.
draw.
That's a good one. My number 2 is Sting's bat. Particularly Sting and his black baseball bat. Just like
Even though you bury Crow Sting.
no,
Wait,
I
is
know.
this a Benoit, Christian, Booker T, Orlando Jordan like
Yes, it
fatal
is.
4-way?
Yes, it is.
For the United States Championship.
That is correct.
Okay, so yeah, the bat, like the tightest part about the bat is not even like him actually hitting someone with it; it's the point, like pointing at somebody,
exactly.
and just like, well, the reason that it's so over to me is, yeah, you're right. I'm not crazy about Crow's Sting, but that's the only Sting we have now. We're not getting Surfer Sting back.
It's better than Joker Sting.
Right. So like, the point
From
and like
TNA?
Remember when Sting first came back on Raw and they first started really setting up the match with him and H picked up the equalizer and he like looked at it and all of a sudden he turns to Sting and Sting just opens his big cloak jacket thing and
His duster.
he's got the bat and he like pulls it out like friggin' Excalibur, dude. Loved that. And so like
moment.
Yeah, dude, and taking out the NWO, you already mentioned it once tonight before we started recording, him taking out the NWO single-handedly, like just getting in the ring, pointing the bat, love the bat, it'll always be super over for me.
Yeah.
Great weapon.
Yes.
There's a lot of different weapons I'd thought of, but when I realized going with props, this is a very unconventional weapon, but I think it's caused more tap-outs than any weapon or any prop on this entire list that someone could mention.
Ring rope?
No.
Oh. Love that when they would like do the choke out with the ring rope.
Mr. Sacco.
Oh, God, that's such a gimmick!
It's a gimmick.
Oh, yeah. Do the mandible claw
Dude,
with
I
Sacco.
love Sacco. Mankind is not my favorite gimmick of Foley's. I've always been more of a bang bang kind of guy.
Yeah, Cactus
But
Jack.
I love all the shit he would do. When Vince was in the hospital and he visited Vince with
dude.
Sacco, that shit was hilarious. And the fact that wrestlers would sell in the Attitude Era to having a sock puppet shoved in their mouth was just top tier shit for me.
Perfect.
So.
Love it. Pete, you got another one?
Yeah, I would just say, I don't have like a big story about it, but I'm a huge Taker mark, so the urn would have to be...
Yeah, you mentioned that at dinner last night when I first brought this up. The urn is great, dude. You need to see CM Punk disrespect the urn. It's the most heat like anyone's ever gotten over the urn.
Tight.
We'll show it to you.
The Urn's a great one just because of its place in kayfabe.
Yeah.
Plus,
Right.
you
It
can, like,
doesn't usually have a place in the match. It's just all part of the storytelling.
Right.
you get hit in the head with it, like you can get ash thrown in your face from it. Like,
Totally. And you're not supposed to like, touch anything that comes out of it. And it's got the spirit of, it's got Undertaker's power in it. And yeah, the kayfabe of it.
I'm assuming anytime they actually open it, it's going to cut over to that scene at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. We're just going to see a bunch of Nazis and their faces going to melt. Tight.
That's a great movie.
It's such a good movie.
Love Indiana Jones.
What's up?
You have one?
My number two is Brian Pillman's gun.
Yes! Such a great moment, dude. Like one of my favorites.
Knew that I'd top you.
Dude, have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh, like Stone Cold goes to Brian Pillman's house. Brian Pillman just had knee surgery. He goes to his house during Raw and he's trying to break in. And Brian Pillman gets up off the couch and he's gonna shoot Stone Cold and it goes off the air.
Can we watch that Raw
Yeah, we'll put him over
moment
on
right
that.
after?
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
wanna
put him
see
over
it.
on that. We're gonna put him over on Punk treating the urn bad.
Right.
We'll just put him over on moments.
He's got a gun. He's got a gun.
JR,
Yeah.
dude, worked us, man. I got so worked by that as a kid. I was like, Brian Pillman's gonna kill Stone Cold. Dude, remember the guy? I pointed this out to you last time we watched that. Is the guy rocking
we watched it a couple times.
Yeah, the guy rocking the Memphis Tigers starter jacket, back in the day when everyone rocked Memphis because Penny Hardaway came from there.
Yeah.
So tight.
God, you guys are Jersey history.
Oh
buffs.
yeah, we are, dude. There's nothing you can sneak by us. It's like you with comic books. You can't
True.
sneak a jersey or a sports team gimmick jacket by us.
That is correct.
We see him in crowds and we just pop. My number one has to do with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it's basically anything Stone Cold ever used at the arena that he was currently at. When he
drove.
My number one is the beer truck.
Yeah.
When he drove the beer truck and fire hosed everyone with Coors Light. And then, as
Zamboni.
I was writing it down, I was thinking he used to use anything from from wherever they were, like the cement truck in Vince's Corvette, the Zamboni, the freaking beer cans, drinking them and smashing them over people's hands.
So any vehicle he's on becomes a gimmick. It's like Air Force Stone.
Right. Dude, I loved anything Stone Cold would use. That, for me, we've talked about the Attitude Era a lot.
Stone Cold Duffman?
I don't know.
I just realized that's essentially his gimmick. Every time in the Attitude Era, he'd come out and shower people with beer.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And then, Remember when he had like the gimmick gun with
Bang
like that
316?
Yeah, Bang 316 flag that came out, and Vince like had that look on his face like he's gonna shoot me in the head. Like I loved anything Stone, like the Attitude Era, like as a whole, like for wrestling, like the wrestling was terrible, but all the gimmicks that Stone Cold pulled off were always good. So yeah, any prop that he used was basically my favorite, but the beer truck's number one.
My number one of all time. You guys continually said, "Oh, if we're doing props, Lucha John's gonna do a Shinai drop."
Yeah.
He refuses to call it a kendo stick.
And if you didn't do it, the only reason you didn't is because we talked about it
Because
so
we
much.
brought it up.
So either way, we're going to be right. If you picked it or if you didn't.
Shinai was not gonna go on my list either way.
Would it have been in your top 5?
No, because I buried the use of Shinai in WWE because the guys who carry them around are never the guys who are actually trained to use them. So I've never been impressed by Sandman coming out like a drunk asshole and hitting people with a Shinai. It's never impressive.
What's a Shinai?
It's the Kendo Boken. It's the plated bamboo practice sword from Kendo. They'd call it a Kendo stick, which always just ruffles my black belt autism. So I had to put a martial arts weapon on the list, given my history. I'm just going to go with one that was used by someone who knew what the hell they were doing, and that's Steve Blackman's nunchucks.
I knew when you said martial arts, you were going back to Steve Blackman, just
Yes!
like your underrated wrestlers list.
I
Gosh.
loved
The
every
answer
time.
is always Steve Blackman
Yeah.
with Lucha John.
Anytime, what Lions Den matches, he would rock. Him and Shamrock would rock like commas, nunchucks, whatever. Just get out and make it look rad as fuck. What's tight is my boy Drago down in Lucha Underground is rocking nunchucks. Nunchucks are a sick gimmick, and Blackman pioneered using them properly.
Oh, yeah.
Pete, are you going to put over the one that you mentioned at dinner last night other than the urn?
I was thinking about it. I kind of have like a 4-way tie of like.
Dude, tell us
It's
all
just
right
all-
now.
but it's all like 80s.
Do it right now.
Like I realized that the 80s were, I guess, like
It was a
late
gimmick
80s.
heavy decade.
Yeah, it was like prop heavy gimmicks, and like there were a few that I really loved as a kid, and like you don't see it as much anymore. But like Jake the Snake's snake,
Damien is hella over.
So
That's a great
Damien's a
choice.
great prop.
like Brutus the Barber's shears, like
Yes!
because you're always like, what the hell is he gonna do with those things when you bring them out, like, you know?
Like, tonight's the night he's going to cut someone's head off.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what's gonna happen?
Dude, those were like big ass shears, too.
And then like Ted DiBiase's money that he would stuff down
I
someone's
was just about to say his
Oh,
money is
dude.
my favorite 80s
like that's
gimmick.
one of the
So great.
just like heelest things you could do is just stuff like dirty paper money into someone's mouth.
I preferred Virgil. That was a good prop.
Love Virgil.
Dude, look
All right,
at this
T-Cap.
guy rocking like in the Clemens era.
We're
Astros
obviously
jersey.
going to wrap up the show tonight by just going over some honorable mentions and some other great props throughout
Oh, yeah.
its gimmick history.
Yeah, I've been thinking
But
of some
T-Cat,
more.
what is your official number one?
My number one prop is the Young Bucks thumbtacked Air Force Ones.
Yes!
Too sweet!
That's pretty good.
They've only come out once. They were teased another time, but they didn't come out. But just off that match alone, it's my favorite.
11.
11.
Speaking of that,
Guerrilla Warfare.
you can talk about like the Lego gimmick, like
Yeah.
the suplex onto the Legos.
Oh, yeah.
The Gummy Bears.
Yeah, dude,
That's a you
the
sick
Lego
fuck
thing.
moment.
I had a pretty funny tweet the other day that got retweeted by a couple people and liked by a bunch. Was like I suplexed or I body slammed my daughter onto some Legos like Joey Ryan, but they were like those big ass Duplos.
Love Duplos.
Yeah, dude.
Duplos and Mega Blocks were tight.
Bad idea. Hashtag bad idea.
Duplos were so fucking big you could actually make, if you were a little kid, and you had enough of them, you could make a little fort
Right.
for yourself.
Yeah,
They were
dude.
tight.
Right. Yeah, just honorable mentions, like, just to wrap up the show, like,
Al Snow's doll head.
dude, Head. Yeah, Al Snow with Head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Boss
was a
Man's
total.
nightstick.
Yes, there you go.
Great
Good one. NWO spray painting the belt. Like, I hated NWO, but that was always funny. Like, when they would, like, spray paint people's backs and stuff like that. Like, when they spray painted Ric Flair's hair to look like a skunk.
Here's another big honorable mention for me because it's an item that's used fucking by everyone, but there's only one person who named it and made it special, and that's the Equalizer.
Yeah.
Triple H's
Yeah.
sledgehammer.
Dude, how about the
Sledgehammer is in his hands is a whole different level of
Right.
pain.
How about the brass knuckles in the trunks, like Ric Flair style? Like, take them out, put them back in, or stuck them in like your opponent's trunks.
I was a big fan of Fit Finley's shillelagh.
Anything Fit Finley you're gonna like. Yeah. One of my honorable mentions would be the Brood's Cup of Blood. They would like smell your face.
What about Boogeyman with like a handful of earthworms, like shoving them down your throat?
Staff.
Yeah, dude. Or
Benoit won the belt.
Undoing the turnbuckle. He was the champ. I think he retained. Undoing the turnbuckle, undoing the ropes and choking someone out with them.
Yeah.
That's not really a prop as much.
The steel steps.
That's weird.
Those things weigh like 7,500 pounds. You know, they're putting them up over their head and everything.
There's enough mass and density in there to rival a neutron star.
What about the freaking Spanish announce table?
That's kind of a prop.
The monitor is pulling out the old monitor. Like, there's so many good props now that I think of it. Like, there's a lot of really good stuff. But, like, you basically have to go, like, hardcore match and get, like, really deep to, like, come up with, like the aluminum trash cans that bend, like, they just flatten like tinfoil.
I love Cactus Jack's like barbed wired baseball bat.
Yeah.
With barbed wire wrapped around it.
Dude.
Well, and Rosie, which was the barbed wire bat for Abyss back in TNA.
I don't know anything about that.
That was tight.
What about Hacksaw Jim Duggan's 2x4?
Yeah, it's another great one.
All right.
Yep.
Anyway.
I just realized, but let's wrap it up with the prop, because prop becomes such an iconic piece of the character, the look, the gimmick. Is there anyone who has a prop-based gimmick other than Tyler Breeze right now?
The selfie stick?
He's got the selfie stick, which doubles as a weapon, puts him over as a narcissistic piece of shit, and people love it.
Yeah.
But I can't
Who
even
else
think of
has
anyone else that has a
like-
prop right now.
Let's think about it for a second.
There's the Money in the Bank briefcase, which isn't
Yeah,
one.
but whoever
That's
wins
true.
it can use it as a prop. You're right. Like,
Yeah.
it becomes a prop for sure. Like, the one that Seth had was all beat up, dude, because it, like, got bashed over people so many times. And they, like, fake cashed it in a bunch of times. But,
There's Neville's apple.
dude, Neville's a turd. Neville's such a turd. I know that, like, King Barrett, like, would always, like, after he won King of the Ring, he would try to use, like, the scepter and stuff, and it would like, the cheapest little plastic thing, it would break.
He doesn't
all the
work
time,
as
but-
King of the Ring, no.
Dude, King of the Ring is a work now. It's, like, not even tight at all.
Sasha Banks has the legit boss brass knuckles.
Yeah, those are cool.
That's true. That's close.
Those are cool.
Dude,
Yeah,
this
I'd
guy's
like to
still
see-
going on his jumbo jacks. Dude.
Dude, the best is the Beer City Bruiser with the freaking keg.
That
bro.
is a tight prop. That's a
Yeah.
good call.
Dude, the keg up on his shoulder.
Do the boys count as a prop?
Yes!
Yes.
Because the fanning and all that
Well,
stuff?
having them fan makes them like ring rats or
Yeah.
managers, but the fact that he uses them to sit down or climb into the ring, that's when they enter prop territory.
That is tight.
Yeah, we need to see more props.
Anyway, I'm Hurley. Good night from the Put 'em Over podcast. Hopefully you'll hear us next week and we'll talk a little bit about the Rumble. Hopefully something cool happens so we can really put that event over.
Next week we've got Fantasticamania, so even if the Rumble sucks, we'll have something amazing to talk about.
And we have the Lucha Underground.
For Put 'em Over, I am Lucha John.
What's your gimmick for Lucha Underground?
The 27th. When it happens, Lucha Underground is going to drop a bomb load of serial Lucha madness until Mark shit their pants.
That's what I was looking
It's
for.
gonna happen.
Pete, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Always a
man.
pleasure.
You're always welcome, like once a month when you're in town. I like it.
What
He says you're gonna do intros, you have to do outros too.
outro?
Be a functioning member of society.
Good night from Put 'em Over. Thanks for
Piece
watching.
of flesh.
Why don't you put me out on your own? I'm not gonna do it.
I'm gonna fucking knock you